sexy baby, put your headphones on. We are here to tell you that float information.
Give it to me now.
Take your clothes off, get into that tank. Get that salt all over you, you'll come out full of swing.
I like being sweet.
Yeah, sexy baby, get your float on.
I'm gonna float.
Sexy baby, sink into that flotation.
All right.
Okay, welcome everybody.
Woo!
Yeah.
The crowd goes wild.
Oh yeah, so you better be going wild out there.
Clap. We can hear you if you're clapping. You better
Yeah.
clap. I'm Graham.
I'm Ashkahn.
And today's question is, I'm expanding my float center.
Nice.
How can I capitalize on this so that when I grand reopen, I'll be booked?
Okay.
Swell.
Swell.
Swell. Yeah, it is a good time to reorganize some of your marketing when you're closed, especially if you just have a bunch of contractors who are doing work and you yourself are not in charge of overseeing it or anything like that.
And hopefully you're expanding because things are going well for you.
Yeah. Also,
Otherwise,
Why-
you're probably making a big mistake.
and also, yeah, I guess it works the same too. Like if you're moving locations, if you're at the same location, I think a lot of this advice is going to be exactly the same. So the first is actually just kind of thinking about it. I'd say like deciding you want to pay
Just feeling it first, I would say, before you even start thinking. Just let it kind of be in your body.
Yeah, just existing there, really, not even trying. Yeah. Sorry, I was about to go way deeper into that. Okay, actual advice. Well, so I guess let's start with the goal. The goal is that when you reopen, you have a week at least where you're just booked out. You know, like every slot is accounted for. I mean, if you can make it 2 weeks, awesome. But like to me, that's both the goal of a grand opening and a reopening. Is you just have back-to-back solid appointments for about a week coming off of it. You know?
I mean, to put it more negatively, like it's also, in my mind, the goal is also to not like to counteract all the like momentum and steam you're going to lose from being closed.
Yeah.
Because that's not easy. You know, there certainly is. You get hit if you're closed for a period of time. Like you have members and people who float regularly, and this will throw them off their routine, maybe enough to like just not come back. Like there's just kind of a difficulty if you're closed down for any significant amount of time.
So first off, take good care of your members is great advice for being closed for any amount of time, right? Like some of these people are people who are creatures of routine and they come in every single week or even multiple times a week in some cases. And your float is part of their routine. So, you know, make sure that they're well taken care of. And some of that word of mouth is also going to be marketing for you when you reopen. You know, the better that you treat your regulars, the more that they're going to get other people to come back in. So it may sound simple, but honestly, that's like a big backbone of making sure you're doing marketing right going into closing is just like take care of your existing customers.
Yeah, so we're like extra communicative with our members leading up to something like this. We'll try to prioritize getting them in for appointments, you know, as soon as we can over other people. We've even also, if we're closed for a chunk of time, we will work with another float center in town and actually just work it out so our members can go float there and use their membership floats at another float center. And then we just kind of settle up with the other float center when we're back up and running.
Which is so appreciated by our members, and I'm sure the other float center too. I know for a fact that other float centers have stolen members from us doing that, and it's totally worth it for keeping the members that you do keep happy, right? Like the ones who stick with you. I mean, even the members who go over to a different float center, it might just be because that float center is closer to where they live or something, and they think you're super awesome for giving them that opportunity and not letting it break into their weekly cycle or something like that. So, not to harp too much on members, but it's a good one. Along those
members
lines,
I mean, I would say that's like a really big thing to think about through this process. Because those are the ones that you're really just like disrupting the most. And from our experience of being closed, which we've done many times, so many times have we had to be closed for some period of time. That's the thing that gets hit the hardest.
Yeah,
like we always get a solid depletion of members every time we have to close for any significant length of time, and then it takes months to build those numbers back up.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere from like 20 to 50% is kind of how much we've lost in terms of members. And it's rough. So I think that's why that's top of mind as well. And kind of related to that, and with communication, being really open with your customers and even, I guess, your customers to be, or your prospects, on why you're closing and what upgrades you're doing and things like that. I mean, Facebook is a great way to share what you're up to actually take pictures of some of the construction to get people excited about it, right? Like if you're expanding and especially if you're kind of remodeling or nicifying your business or adding soundproofing or adding new tanks, all of these are great reasons for anyone who's floated there already to come back in. And reasons for people who maybe haven't tried it out yet to take advantage of the new scenery or the new tanks and come in then. So, don't try to hide that you're under construction or feel like you're doing something wrong. Like, be very public about it. And as many behind the scenes photos as you can share, I think the better.
Definitely, like every avenue you use to reach people, you should plan something for based around your reopening. I mean, it's definitely like a newsletter blast, it's social media posting, it's even signage in your windows. Yep. Like you're going through all your channels because you want that to be something that people know is happening and are excited about, and it's kind of fun. I mean, you're expanding. Like that's all good news, and it's going to be even cooler for people when they come back in. There's going to be new float tanks to hop into, and it's all very positive.
Probably inevitably you'll do some kind of reopening event. And that can just help for promotion, right? Like you only have so many floats you can run in a day, but you can get a lot of your members, a lot of your customers, just a lot of friends and people out to see your new digs, to check out the new construction and see what's up. And running an event doesn't really have to cost more than a few $100s. We've talked about that in other podcast episodes we'll link to in the show notes. But it's not the craziest thing to run an event in your center. And anyway, it's just worth
fun.
Yeah.
And it's cathartic after doing a big construction project.
Without even going through all the trouble of a press release, you can almost always get small events like that listed in newspapers for free, put it up online in local directories that people search for goings-ons. And even if you do have to pay, I mean, we're not talking about a ton of money for event listings like that. Usually it's maybe $15 to $50 for a listing if they do require any payment at all. So something else that, if you are reopening, you can use that reopening party as the thing you're promoting a little bit in addition to just the changes that are going on. You get something to say over there? We breathed in very deeply at the same time and it got confusing.
I was just going to mention the fact that construction timelines can be kind of slippery.
Oh, that's actually a great thing to mention, yeah.
So just be a little careful.
You took that deep breath.
Yeah, that's why I took that deep breath. If you're like, boom, I'm going to be back open on June 5th, and I should just start slamming my schedule completely full, like, it's a little tricky. We do a lot of a lot of putting people on wait lists. And in our Helm software, we can just put everyone on wait lists, and then if we do open that day up, it'll just start contacting them
automatically without us doing anything. So
something like that ideal. Is a little bit safer of an approach. And just also realize, if you are expanding and adding new rooms, it's going to be kind of like your experience when you first opened up. There's going to be a period of time.
Remember that? Remember when you first opened and how crazy it was?
I know you probably blacked it out at this point, but things might go wrong. There's quirks, there's little things in the room that you're just going to have to get used to. So be a little bit careful about overextending yourself for that first period.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just for context, if we think a construction project is going to take a couple weeks, depending on the nature of it, we might block off 3 or 4 weeks for that construction project. Mm-hmm. And great, if it takes 2 weeks, we just open up the 2 weeks we blocked off and
contact
we're good
your
to go.
members and say they can come back in.
Yeah, hey, you're good. And then if it does take longer, or if it takes longer and then you pass, or you fail an inspection and then it takes even longer. I mean, having that safety margin built in is so much nicer than having to cancel on people, push them back a week, and then maybe even call them a second time to cancel and push them back another week. That. We know because we've been there. And it's just awful.
It was rough.
You feel like a really incompetent person. You're not coming across good to your customers, So just budget aside anywhere from an extra. Again, if we're closed for a month, it might be we block off 2 extra weeks, but at minimum a week extra on top of construction projects, no matter what their length is, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. And, in terms of, I guess we're giving a lot of precautions here, but in terms of filling tanks, how to make this all big.
Sorry. It's fun. All the bad things start coming back to us and stuff. So, this is also a great time. You'll just hopefully, again, have some time on your hands. So it's a perfect time to launch into arranging a new program once you open, or, we don't run a lot of discounts, a lot of like 30 to 50% off floats or anything at Float On, but if we did, this would be a great time to run discounts as well, leading up to your reopening.
Yeah, I mean, you can especially easily justify a discount for your new rooms. You're like, hey, I just built these new rooms, like be one of the first people to try them. You can even mention they're like test floats or something, so you can have a period where you're getting
Like test
quirks,
floats, yeah, it's a good
quirks
one.
out of the way, and like, like it's all kind of nicely justified. You're doing test floats for 2 weeks in these 2 new rooms specifically, and people get 25% off for booking in there. Like that's a great way to fill those up and actually get feedback from people and make sure that soundproofing is solid and lightproofing is solid and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, depending on, the amount of members you have and the length of time you're closed, I might also just like a float-on way to do this would be to give a bunch of free floats to members to share with their friends. So for example, we have about 250 members. So if we were closing for a month, both as a way to try and keep members and apologize for being closed, I'd be really tempted to offer them all a free float to, within the couple weeks after reopening, come in with a friend. Maybe they expire 2 weeks after reopening, but really, again, trying to get that week, especially right after you reopen, totally booked. And when I say that, like I mean with paid or unpaid floats. You really just want people coming in, and that momentum will carry itself forward. Very similar to a regular opening is how you're using a reopening. But yeah, taking advantage of word of mouth from existing customers, in this case members, I think is also a great way to tie it in.
Yeah. Sometimes we pay people to stand out front of our shop in big fake mustaches, and just as people are walking by, be like, "Oh yeah, the float tank place. Yeah, that cured my sister of blindness."
That's how I got hired on there. Yeah,
claims. Yeah, it was Graham's first job. So that's another strategy.
Yeah. Again, basically just use your time to promote and hustle. Like you know what you've been doing so far for your float center. You know what kinds of campaigns you like running, and kind of just don't pull any punches on this one. Go all out, reach out to people, share what you've actually been up to. Again, offer a discount, offer free floats, and just through whatever means, try to book those up. Right?
I mean, yeah. Oh, like hopefully you've got some marketing that's working because you needed to expand. So
yeah, exactly. And if you don't, again, the classics are Facebook, mailing list, figuring out a campaign for free floats, offering discounted floats, running an event right when you open, getting that listed in newspapers. It's kind of like the gamut that we've been going through in quick summary form here.
Hiring plants to stand outside your float center. all the things we've been talking
giant
about.
Mustache. All right. Thanks for the question.
Yeah. And if you have
I'm Graham.
a question, no, we did that already.
All right.
If you
Beginning
out
of
there
the
listening
episode,
have a question that you want us to answer, you can go to floatanksolutions.com/
/podcast.
Yep. That's all right. And that's it.
We'll talk to you
That's the
soon.
end of this episode.
Bye.